Well, let's get started. I'm Becky Binder, and Angelina posted my picture in there. So that's me at a past summit back from Washington, D.C. So welcome, everyone. We're really glad you're here. We have you're on from Portugal and Rhode Island and California and Chicago and many destinations. So thanks for joining. Thank you for serving as reviewers of the proposals for the Global Summits. It's an important role that you have in helping to read and assess and think about these proposals and help rate and evaluate them. So here's what we'll be covering today. We'll go through the guidelines for reviewing proposals, what are the criteria that you'll use to rate them. We'll go over the rating scale, talk about what happens next, and spend some time for Q&A. So as reviewers for the next year's group of summits, which would be, you'd be reviewing proposals from the Asia Conference, which will be the Asia Summit, which will be held in March 2018, and then for the next EMEA and North American summits. So we ask that you don't share or discuss the proposals with other people. If you or a client that you're representing has a proposal that's been put forth, and it comes in your batch of proposals to rate and review, just please don't rate that one, skip over it. And we are, right now as we speak, there are more and more proposals that are coming in for the Asia Summit. And so we'll be sending you the information you need to log in. It's an online system. We'll send you your name, password information, login information, and we'll send also some screen captures and a little of a redo on the dates, but we'll get that to you soon, and we ask that you rate everything, review it by September 18th. And then the other pieces of this is that we ask, too, that you don't reach out or talk to anybody or make a commitment to what would be a potential speaker. So pretty straightforward. All of the proposals that come in, we have criteria for rating them so that everyone gets evaluated by the same thing to make it fair and equitable across the board. So you're looking, when you're online and you're looking at the proposals and reading them, think about how thorough is the proposal? How good of a job have they done with that? Think about the alignment of it. Does it make sense with, is it in alignment with the summit theme? So I encourage you to go on to the CoreNet Global website and review the new theme. We'll also put that into a link for you in an email. But read the theme so that you've got that as a foundation first. We're looking at the expertise of the speakers. You want to think about, with the learning objectives there, do they tie back to what the description is? So do those two things make sense? Sometimes people put in learning objectives that, wow, they're really lofty, or they don't really jive with what's in the description. So just watch for those types of things. You're looking at how relevant is the information that's being presented, how new is it, and we're looking for a multidisciplinary approach. So it's, so that we're bringing in lots of different types of knowledge and people from different disciplines to really round that out and make it a strong learning experience. So those are the criteria that you'll be using. What you're going to be doing is going in, and as you're reading these proposals, you've got the criteria, but then you're going to give each one of those criteria a rating score. So it's 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest. And then I think something that's I know this is really important. At the end, you're going to evaluate each of those criteria. Then at the end, you'll give it an overall rating. But I think the piece that really makes a difference in all of this are your comments, because that feedback helps understand why something got a rating it did or didn't. It's also used to help when there's information, when a proposal is declined. This is where it really, really comes in. What we'd like to do is provide the information about why it was declined, and we have done that consistently, but your comments make a difference in helping people up it for the next time. So that, and conversely, I think it's also good feedback for those who are accepted, but it really helps the people who aren't accepted. So that's, and what we do is when we give them your feedback, it's anonymous. They don't know. It's not it's not tied to anyone's name. They just get a bullet point list of the different things. So that part's really helpful. And I think for the senior staff, when we're looking at things, your comments on why you really like something or how it might be improved, they make a big difference. So here's some of the important dates, and I'm not going to go into this. Just focus on the fact that we'll be sending you your login information soon, and please try and wrap everything up by the 18th of September. Before I go, well, here's the next slide. Here's what happens after the proposals are evaluated. Collectively, you've got a lot of wisdom, and your ratings help bring the best of the best up and help surface that. I always think of this as a bit of a bell curve, where you get, when the proposals come in, there's a few at the low end, a lot in the middle, and some in the high end. And what we're after with the summits is we want the best of the best. And you really do have among you a lot of collective wisdom about what you think is, and is the most compelling content. What things have you heard before, you're not really interested, and that's old hat. Or proposals where it really sounds too much like a sales pitch. You know that. I've seen this time and time again, and throughout your vetting of these proposals, those things will rise to the surface. So, and after all your ratings come in, then the senior staff will go through and we build out the program based upon what you've done. One thing that I wanted to talk about is that a couple of common questions that I think you'll have, which are, how long will this take? How many proposals am I going to get? That type of information. So if you think about the proposals, if you were to print one out, they're about a page long. They're not that long. We will send you your link and log in. We'll try. We don't know yet how many proposals are going to be received for Asia. They're still flowing in. We will assign you perhaps 25 or 30 proposals to read and rate and evaluate. And having done this before, I would just encourage you to go on and try and read them first, get a sense of what people are writing about, get a sense of the topics and the different levels of quality, because there are definitely varying levels of the proposals that come in. Then go back and go back in and rate them and all. But it's kind of like if you were a professor and you had essay tests, you'd want to get a sense of where everybody was before you automatically started assigning a grade to them. So we'll send you, we'll get you out your information and probably 25 or 30 proposals to evaluate. Now, how long will that take you? I think once you get started in it, you'll get faster. It shouldn't take too long once you get the rhythm and the flow of it and start assigning the scores. So you can go on anytime you want, and just please have them done by the 18th. So at this point, are there questions?
Hi, I have a question. This is regarding how influential our votes are. I know I tend to be a hard grader all the way around. So how many raters are rating each proposal? I don't want to skew the results too much.
There will probably be 15 or so reviewers per batch. Does that help?
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. It took me a few minutes to actually be able to dial in at the beginning. Is there a format for how we submit our feedback?
Yes, when you go online, for each you'll be assigned a set number of proposals. You'll see them right there. You can click into it, and then each screen you'll give a rating for how thorough it is, or what the learning objectives were like, or how relevant it is. So everyone's using the same criteria and the same rating scale. I don't see any other questions out there, but if you think of something, just email us, and then otherwise, watch for our next email to you with the information you need, and thank you so much. This is a really important part of getting the very best program together for all of the summits, and we really appreciate your help and couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.